And today I'm making a video especially on Agile because many people, as in I could see, uh, based out of my coaching and training and consulting experience, as I deal with many individuals who are planning to make their career in the field of Agile, all that. So many people have confusion over the roles, confusion over the kind of skill sets that we want to acquire. At the same time, majorly people who are looking for any career transformation will have this confusion, followed by people who are applying for jobs or people who are attending for interviews and all. So what kind of skill set I want to acquire? So these kind of questions many people have. So uh, the reason why I'm making a video on this, especially in the field of agile environment. First of all, I'll start from the basic so that and this is majorly, as I'm stating now in the beginning itself, this video I'm making for the people uh, who are new to Agile and who are looking for career transformation in the field of Agile environment. Those people, okay, not because the kind of terminologies or the jargons that I'm going to use are so basic so that any layman can understand better. So, first of all, let us understand Agile is, right? So, Agile is a methodology or a process because when we want to implement something or when we want to provide a solution in the field of IT, or it can be in the non-IT as well. We are working on the banking, we are working on insurance, healthcare. There must be a process or an approach to deal with the project activities or deal with our job activities. So when we are performing any job activities or we are developing any kind of project solutions, all these, it's always important for us to address these on the priority mode because earlier the services were different. I'll give you an example. Let's say earlier, for example, we are developing some e-commerce project. Earlier, in the beginning days, I'm saying, not in the recent times, in the beginning days, when we used to develop the project, we used to complete the whole stuff and we used to deliver it. That's how the situation, the beginning time. But over a period of time, requirements and as well as requirements of the customer has changed a lot. Customer expecting in different needs. Customer want you to deliver the solutions with no time. And customer want you to make some changes in the existing ones, existing process. Let's say we are developing in e-commerce portal. E-commerce portal have many things, right? So customer can log in, right? So customer can see the products, right? So category of products they can see. At the same time, they can identify the products. They keep it in shopping cart, right? So they can edit those, right? So they can pay. At the same time, they can track even, right? So status of the products that were delivered. Everything can be seen by the customer. Customer can apply for returns. Customer can exchange, right? So many services can be done using e-commerce. So there are a lot of features, lot of functionalities are there in any e-commerce portal. At the same time, whatever the user experience, people expects also changing. Okay, because you have to make people to retain at an e-commerce portal easy to use. That kind of situation we need to create. So, in this competition world, a lot of competition happens, right? So, a lot of competition is going on. We have to take a decision based upon the market situations, market dynamics, demands, all that, and we have to update ourselves in a business functional mode. That's what something which clients are expecting. I'm not addressing this for any e-commerce. You can relate to any healthcare matter to the fact or banking, insurance, retailing, right? So supply chain. You can take any of the domain. So customers are expecting us to develop solutions in a faster pace. At the same time, what they require, so it has to be completed within no time. It has to be delivered. That's how generally the situation has evolved. So this is what generally we call it as agile, right? So agile process, because agile process consists of different policies, different roles we have. It's agile roles we have, agile scrum roles, I can say. But agile has principles. Agile has manifesto and principles were there. So that people who are involving in the field of agile environment, because many people have misconception over this is related only for IT, but to an extent possible, yes, but not to the full extent, because agile implementation can be done not only in project of IT. Agile can be implemented in the field of healthcare, in the field of banking, insurance, everywhere. Agile process. I'm talking about the process. I'm talking about agile process implementation can be done in any of the sector. So Agile has some manifesto, Agile has some principles. Whoever is working under the Agile environment should follow it. It is nothing to do with Scrum. It is nothing to do with Kanban, XP, all that. Okay. I'm speaking in context to the Agile process, Agile methodology is concerned. Now, when you are trying to understand about Agile have majorly few things, right? So one few things you need to know. One is about the Scrum. We have Kanban. We have lean process, even lean approach or process we can call it as. We have DSDM, which is called Dynamic Software Development Methodology, which this is there for a very long time. Okay, this is there for a very long time. At the same time, RAD, right? So Rapid Application Development Model we have. So many other things, right? So we have many things, all that stuff, right? So uh, these are the different processes and approach we follow, because some people follow Scrum, some people follow Kanban, some people follow Lean process, some people follow DSDM, some people follow RAD, Rapid Application Development. So there are different approaches that we follow, especially when we are working on the agile environment, all that, right? So we have many, of course, right? So we have Crystal even, right? So we have Crystal. We have many things here, right? So there are different approaches and processes that we have. So when we are working on the field of agile environment, either in you will be in the field of IT application development or any other, what kind of approach, what kind of framework and methodologies that we have chosen important, because many people might be having an idea over the Scrum rather than comparing to other ones. I don't say that the remaining were not of use. These will be used in different areas. But end of the day, Scrum is a prominent framework. Normally, many people have confusion, because when I teach, when I coach people, right? So many people have a confusion over this. The reason I'm explaining, because many people have a confusion. So what Scrum is all about, right? So people call it Agile is different, right? Agile Scrum, right? So Agile called as framework sometimes. Right? Agile is a process or a methodology. Scrum itself is called as framework, right? So let me confine to Scrum. Scrum is a framework. This framework have a specific timelines, a shorter iterations, where if you want to implement something or if you want to complete a particular task, there will be a deadline for that. And it can be week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so. Within that deadline, it has to be completed. That's what generally we call it a sprint, SPRINT, sprints. So this is a prominent framework across industries we use, because it has more success. Point number one. One reason was that. Second, apart from that, Scrum framework, which is addressing the short iterations, because I want to complete a particular task or a assignment in a week of time or 2 weeks time in a month of time, wherein Scrum framework has that, because this Scrum framework is depending on different these things, right? So Scrum ceremonies we call it as. Okay, there are different ceremonies you might be having an idea, right? So Scrum ceremonies we call. So Scrum ceremonies are different, right? So it starts with sprint planning. It starts with daily Scrum. and sprint review, followed by sprint retrospective. Okay, so these are all different scrum methods we have, followed by scrum artifacts we have here. That's different, right? So these are all there. So a person working under the scrum environment should be knowing, because how scrum can be implemented in agile when we are working on a project or a particular activity or a task and all. It starts with sprint planning. This is what something, the first thing that we do. At the same time, that's what my coaching is all about, right? So that's what generally I give. So you can see a couple of my videos in my channel even, right? So I have posted, been for a very long time. So sprint planning is the first one, right? So we do the planning of a particular sprint based upon the activities or the tasks that we have taken or user stories by identifying the business value, complexity, or next daily scrum where it focuses on day-to-day activities, what is to be done, etc. Sprint review, we do the review followed by retrospection. So these are, we call it as scrum ceremonies. At the same time, followed by scrum ceremonies, we have scrum artifacts. So this is what generally we use when we are providing any kind of solutions in the field of agile environment. In the field of agile, when we are following scrum framework, majorly as an example that I have taken. These are the things: sprint planning, daily scrum, review, retrospections, all these. But when you follow Kanban, then that's a different approach, right? So we have pull and push approach, right? So we'll be taken in task and we implement those. So wherein you don't see any specific deadline for Kanban, the major difference you can see from Scrum to Kanban. But Scrum, yes, we have specific deadlines. At the same time, we must be knowing about the roles first. Okay, that's what generally now I'm going to discuss you. These are the three different roles you can see here. One is about the product owner role, Scrum team we have, and Scrum Master, right? So these are the three different roles you can see. So product owner are the people who defines the goal and vision of the product. Okay, for let's say that we are developing some e-commerce project. Who defines the goal and vision of the product is something that run by the product owner. More or less, when coming back to the career transformation, if you see, many people who are in the field of business analysis, people who are working on the business analysis side or analyst side, more related for PO roles. I'm not saying 100%. Out of interest, there are some people who transform their careers into Scrum Masters also. But to make it related, many people who are, this is in reference to, in addressing to the career transformation advice that I'm giving. Many people who are planning to move from business analysis, because people may ask you, right? So Raj, so if I'm a business analyst now, right? So what will be my career, this thing? I made a video long back. It was there. Even I'll post that video in the description below, the link in the description below. I made a video long back, almost more than a year and a half or two or so. I'm not sure, but of course, anyway, I'll give you. But generally, there are different these things, right? So we have, if I am a business analyst, I can become a product manager, right? So I can become a product owner. Sometimes depends on my technical stuff. I can become even project manager role also. I can play. So there are different roles. So if you are a BA, majorly a business analyst people are the one who can transform themselves into product owner. This is one role because it's more or less related. Because you are a BA, you will be focusing more on requirements, all that. If you are a product owner, you will be defining the goal, vision, writing some epics and user stories. At the same time, maintaining and creating and maintaining product backlog. This is all something being a product owner you will be doing. So when it comes to the skills, you must be having understanding over the product, right? You must be understanding about how to define the goal and vision, how to understand epics, how to create epics user stories, how to create and maintaining product backlog. So we'll be involving some part of release planning even, right? So understanding of ideation of a MVP. This is all something which we call it as PO, which is called product owner role. This is point number one. Second is Scrum team. Scrum team is a combination of development team, I can say, like who are working under the developer side, who are working in the field of Agile, Scrum development side. Either it can be in any of the programming, either in terms of Java, right? So maybe any developer and all. These people can become Scrum role, right? So they can work in the Scrum area. That's what generally we call it as. We have a generally I run this thing, right? So I run a course called Scrum Developer course, right? So this is the product owner course, right? So product owner course as separate. Who defines the goal and vision that for career transformation purpose. Second is Scrum Developer course. Scrum Developer means you are a developer, technically speaking. You may be having good understanding over the coding part, right? So you know how to write the code, you may be involved in testing, all that stuff. But when we are moving towards in Scrum environment, Agile environment, Scrum environment, you must be jack of all trades. You must be experiencing in all the expertise technically, development, testing, right? So deployment, all that stuff. That's how generally Scrum developers were designing all that stuff. So Scrum developer transforming towards Scrum developer is also something possible for the people who are in the career develop, career transformation. Means people who are looking for career transformation in the field of agile to move on. As in when I'm a developer or I'm a tester, right? So if I move into agile and all, you can learn Scrum developer. This is another area. This you can become a Scrum developer by learning. Scrum developer is another this thing, wherein you will be learning about the nuances of Scrum, right? So how this can be implemented. Being a developer, how this practically you have to transform yourself into the Scrum development side. This is where generally Scrum developers are majorly for. This is the second role you can see. Third about Scrum Master, right? So Scrum Master, uh, right? So Scrum Master role we have, right? So Scrum Masters are the people who acts as a who acts as a facilitator to the team. Because let's say if you have taken development team, combination of technical team, testing team, all that. So there is no guarantee that all the people are expertise in agile environment, Scrum environment all the time. There are people who may not be having an idea over that, right? So may not be having 100% practical understanding over how agile, because agile is all about the mindset. It's nothing to do with technology all the time, but how you are involving yourself with the team. So how you are taking decisions within the team itself, right? So how you are gelling up with other people, right? So by it's end of the day teamwork. So that sort of mindset we have to develop. So that kind of mindset has to be inculcated by the Scrum Master. That's where generally Scrum Masters are majorly aligned. Many people simply learn daily Scrum, Scrum ceremonies. Okay. At the same time, many people see about the bundle chat, bundle chat. That's all there. That is all required using different tools of Scrum, like Zira, right? So Rally, Azure DevOps, we can do that. But end of the day, being a Scrum Master, you need to have you'll be a facilitator, okay, among the Scrum team, and make sure you always try to thrive to achieve a goal of a product owner, what they wants to achieve end of the day. That's where generally Scrum Master roles are majorly meant for. So Scrum Master is also another rare role where anybody can come on, anybody can move on. Even sometimes, as I stated earlier, even people who are in the field of business analysis can also become a Scrum Masters based upon the opportunity that we receive. Because Scrum Masters majorly more or less like a project manager, but I don't compare because project manager have an authoritative role. Scrum Master has a facilitator role, right? So understand the difference between two. Again, I'm repeating. Product owner is a project manager is a authoritative role, whereas Scrum Master is a facilitator role. We have even product managers, we have program managers also that we can discuss it in coming days, right? So I'm going to create a new session video on what are the different managerial roles you have, right? Program manager, project manager, product manager. How is this different? So that I'll make it a separate video. I don't want to deviate, right? So that's the point. So Scrum Masters can also become, right? So you can become a Scrum Master. People who are in the field who wants to transform their career into the field of agile, irrespective of the domain that we belongs to, either we may be IT or non-IT, these people can become Scrum Masters. So these are the three different roles you see. One is about the product owner, Scrum team, Scrum Master. These are the three different roles you see in the field of agile, especially when we are talking about the agile and all. So business analyst can become product owner, development team can become Scrum developers. Even Scrum Master, anyone can learn, right? So out of their interest, anyone can learn and they can do. Now, when it comes to the skill sets, as I already mentioned you, because product owner, you need to have a skill sets about agile ceremonies. These are all common, right? So whatever the Scrum framework ceremonies, whatever the artifacts do we have in Scrum, all these things are required for PO, Scrum developer, and as well as Scrum masters. But additionally, if you are a product owner, as I mentioned you need to define the goal and vision of the product, epic user stories, product backlog, creation, refinement, grooming. That sort of knowledge is required. If you are a developer, how within the team you need to complete your task within the time, right? So what tactics that you need to follow? What are the techniques that needs to be followed, practiced? That's what something you'll be learning under Scrum developer, and that's how generally the transformation comes. Next, Scrum Master. Scrum Master more of facilitation role, tracking the progress of work, conducting some review and retrospective meetings before the daily Scrum meetings, reviewing the work. At the same time, creating some burn-down charts, burn-up charts. This is all something that we will be doing. So these are the three different roles anyone can. Depends on your professional experience that you have carried in it. So you can transform as in when I mentioned it. If you want any detailed any advice about, you can always reach out to me. That's different. Now there are certifications also. There are certifications even because this is add-on. Because if anybody wants to do certifications, they can do that. That's a different story altogether. We have even product owner certifications are available outside. CSPO, PSPO, and all that. At the same time, even Scrum Master, all that. At the same time, for Scrum Master, we have CSM. I'm naming few because there are many things were coming now in that, but I'm naming few. Even certified Scrum Master, even you can become professional Scrum Master certifications from scrum.org or Scrum Alliance, right? So that certifications will give you an additional advantage for any people who wants. Because see, certification will give you an advantage for you for sure, which is acceptable. But having practical understanding is always important because assume that I'm a person individual, done my certification. Okay, certification doesn't always gives me professional experience, practical experience, unless if I am working on something, I'll be getting. So either that opportunity you have to create for yourself, or that opportunity must be given by someone to you. So either that or this, right? So that because the course that I am conducting is completely practical understanding oriented part because it's not only certification oriented. Certification oriented were there, but generally practical understanding even needed because I came across many people in these many years of my coaching, consulting, and training career. People are certified, but they don't know how practically this can be implemented in the project. Right. So courses are designed in that grounds. Either it can be a product owner, or it can be a Scrum developer, or it can be a Scrum master, all that. So these are all something we have. At the same time, we have Agile project management certifications even, right? So we have that. So we have many other, even for Scrum developers also, we have certifications. Those are all are there, right? So this is all something which we are talking about certifications. Next, we have scale based, right? Because now and then people are moving towards scaled agile, right? So because scaled agile means earlier, if you are managing your one team, now in scaled agile, you need to manage multiple teams. Let's say that we are working on 4 to 5 different teams. So how these teams to be aligned with, how this team to be managed. This is what we call it as scaled agile. Again, scaled agile have some principles. Scaled agile principles we have. Different scaled agile principles we have. At the same time, we can become, there are different techniques that we follow, right? So we must be knowing about art, right? So agile release train engineer, right? So we have different roles even in scaled agile release train engineer, right? So ERT we call it as agile release train engineer, right? So agile release train engineer. We have other roles even for scaled agile, but I always advise to the people whoever is good in the field of agile environment can move on to agile scaled agile. We have certifications even for matter to the fact for scaled agile, which is called SAFE. Normally, the scaled agile in shorter form, we call it as SAFE. Right, SAFE, scaled agile framework, we call it as. Okay, scaled agile framework principles, practices you must be. But a person coming from the agile environment, people who are having good knowledge over the agile implementation, I always advise them to come for a scaled agile. Or else also you can come, but you need to have the basic understanding over agile. First of all, I'll teach, then I'll go to scaled agile. That's how generally it is for. That's the reason why I'm conducting this in three parts. One is about scaled agile for beginners, say for intermediaries, and say for implementation teams. Okay, this is the advanced level, I can say, right? So how this can be implemented. So there are the three different roles we have, right? So right, so we have three different, right? So one is about safe for beginners who are nowhere relating to safe, right? So who are not having any idea over the safe, they can come for beginner level. Having some basic idea, but I want to transform myself, right? So then intermediaries are important. Next, people are working on safe environment, but they want to have more understanding over that. Yeah. Then safe for implementation teams. So scaled agile is nothing but wherein scrum of scrums we conduct, right? So because we assume that we have four different scrums or four different scrum teams. So you will be picking up one leader from the one scrum team. So we are conducting a scrum meeting so that the same decision what we have taken must be distributed to all the people. Everybody should be on the same line, on the same page. That's where generally scaled agile is majorly meant for. So scaled agile framework is also one of the key and important thing that we need to know, because now and then people are moving towards scaled agile framework as well, SAFe, which is called SAFe. Okay, so these skill sets are different. These skill sets are completely different. The skill sets you can learn even. There are different customization course also will be there, because depends on the team to team, depends on the kind of challenges that we come across. Whatever that we are learning may have some differences, right? So this is all about the scaled agile part. So this is also in another area where people can transform themselves, because many of the job profiles, as in when I can see now and then, even people were asking, do you have any idea over the scaled agile implementation or safe implementation experience? People were expecting. The reason why even implementation of SCAPE, learning about the safe principles, all these things are even required. And for career transformation, all these things are needed as well. So this is an overall understanding, right? So when it comes to the agile, especially when I'm focusing more on Scrum, I mean to say, because there were many things. We have Kanban, Lean, DSDM, rapid application development. We have many things, right? So we have Crystal, we have many other areas, right? So when we are going for again, can we have different pair programming, right? So we have many things, right? So it's a different this thing, okay. But when I'm focusing more on Scrum part, on that stuff, these are the different roles you see. These are the different skill sets, as I mentioned you. Skill sets I mentioned already. What skill sets you must be good with, all that, and followed by this any career transformation. Because many people I could see out of my training and coaching experience, many people are in the state of confusion due to various suggestions given by even well wishers, but they out of their experiences they have given to them. But it must be related for an individual, individual to individual, based on the professional experience that we carry. So how to create our career path is so important. That's where generally this career transformation is more useful. That's where generally I am giving this career transformation advices to many of the people, because that is more important. Because learning is not only the case, because how to plan your career towards the direction which you wants to, but that must be in a long term, right? So not in a short term, that must be in long term. So this is what generally the agile roles are: skills, career transformation, and all that. And do remember, this is a video which I made as an instant, right? So this is not something I planned earlier, right? So it's an instant video. Why can't I make a video for the people? Because many people have, because I get lot of emails, lot of messages from across different places, irrespective of the country. irrespective of the region. I get many messages, I am getting many mails, all that. So answering all these uh, personally, even my team is managing all this, but I'm getting very huge number of mails and communications I'm getting. Even my team will also have some limitations, right? So my team is working uh, perfectly. My team is working, even my team is also working fine in addressing all the questions and queries people have made. So they are addressing to their extent possible. But I thought of make a video, so a detailed video for the people who are looking for any, who are in the crossroads of agile, right? So how they can go on, right? So what they want to learn, right? So that's the reason I thought of making a video, so that it clears all the because if there is any kind of confusion among people, so that can be wiped off. Because my team is working on addressing and my replying the queries by interacting with them, with me. But still, I thought of making a video so that it gives a clear understanding over uh, the roles, the kind of skill sets that you want to become, right? So the kind of career transformation, how we can transform your career of that. So, to best of my knowledge, within the limited time, I have given this inputs to you. This video may not be full, but it's an instant video as I've made. This is all which I have given, right? So all the best for your future endeavors. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.